Good evening. Welcome to this extraordinary meeting of the Council. The seating plan of the Council chamber has been reorganised to provide as safe an environment as we can for members and officers in attendance. Please maintain a social distance if you can, and be aware that you are advised to wear a mask throughout the meeting. Before the meeting starts, I'd like to invite the committee member and scrutiny manager to update you on the systems being used and to confirm that officers in remote attendance are present.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll start with a roll call. I have Anthony Roche in the Zoom call.
Good evening.
Thank you very much. This meeting is being audio recorded and filmed and live streamed to the Council's YouTube channel. The recordings will be available to view on the Council's website and YouTube channels after the meeting has ended. If a member wishes to speak, they should use the speak button located on your microphone unit. The microphone will light up green and the chair will be alerted of your request to speak. When the chair invites you to speak, your microphone will be made live and will turn red, at which point you can speak. The normal procedure rules in respect of debate and times to speak will apply. When requested to vote, voting will be via the yes, no, abstain buttons on your microphone unit. Details of how members voted will be shown on the screens around the room, and the result will be visible on the YouTube stream. In the event of a tied vote, the chair will have the casting vote. Are there any questions before we start the meeting? No. Councillor Bryant.
Thank you. Apologies for absence. There are a number. Apologies for absence received from Councillors John Bishop, Jean Green, Kate Hart, Keith Hoskins, Sean Prendergrass, David Barnard, Kay Frost, Carol Stanier, Adam Ruggiero Chakar, Tom Tyson and Paul Clark. Are there any others? Yeah. Yes. Oh, Tom, sorry. Councillor Tyson is here. Yes.
His apologies.
Terry Tyler, thank you.
Did you Ash on that list? She sends her apologies. She's not well.
Anybody else? Okay. Item 2, Chair's announcements. The first announcement is about former Councillor Bill Davidson. It is with great sadness to have to announce that former Councillor Bill Davidson has passed away. Councillor Davidson was a long-standing member of the Royston Committee, an executive member from 2003 to 2006, who left the council last year after moving out of the district with his family. Can I ask you to join me in a minute's silence? Thank you. Would any member like to speak? Councillor Strong?
I'd like to put on record our thanks to Councillor Davidson for all the support and work that he gave this council, and this great sadness that we hear of his passing, and to pass those condolences to his family. Bill didn't exactly say a lot when he was a councillor, but when he did speak, I don't think any of us will forget his very broad Scottish accent. But what I would like to do is to call upon Councillor Tony Hunter, who knew him very well as a co-councillor from Royston, to make a tribute.
Councillor Hunter?
Thank you, Councillor Strong. Yes, it was quite a shock to a number of us this weekend when we got the email that Bill had passed, because last May he decided not to stand again, and obviously his wife, Lindsay, encouraged him to turn over a new leaf and move somewhere else, which was a lot easier. They moved to a retirement village in Leamington Spa, a much smaller property. I think Bill really missed the fact that he lost his garage and shed, where he spent a great deal of his time. And I think he had every tool known to man when it came to DIY. He has had health problems for as long as I've known him, and he's bounced back from everything. Regrettably, though, the cancer came very quickly. He'd lived with prostate cancer for a number of years, but suddenly it got quite terrible. He was in a hospice for just 2 weeks before he passed. And a number of us will be going to his funeral, which is on the 6th of January in Leamington Spa. And I'm sure we'll do our best to give the council's sympathy to his family and his wife, Lindsay. Thank you kindly, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hunter. Would anybody else like to speak? I think possibly Councillor Hunter said it all for us. Moving on to the rest of the business. Climate emergency. Members are reminded that this council has declared a climate emergency. This is a serious decision and means that, as this is an emergency, all of us, officers and members, have that in mind as we carry out our various roles and tasks for the benefit of our district. Rules of debate. Please can I remind you that the norm procedure rules in respect of debate and times to speak will apply. No speeches may be made after the mover has moved a proposal and explain the purpose of it until the motion has been seconded. When seconding a motion or amendments, a member may reserve their speech until later in the debate. In accordance with the Constitution, please can members ensure that no speech exceeds 5 minutes without consent of the chair. Declarations of interest. Members are reminded to make declarations of interest before an item. The detailed reminder about this and speaking rights is set out under Chair's announcements on the agenda. Item 3, resolution to extend the 6-month rule, Section 85 Local Government Act 1972. We are to consider an extension of the 6-month rule for Councillor John Bishop, having regard to the circumstances for absence for meetings. Melanie Simpson to present.
Thank you, Chair. So the report before members tonight is to consider an extension of the 6-month rule for Councillor John Bishop, who has been unable to attend meetings recently on ill health grounds. The last meeting that Councillor Bishop attended was a planning committee meeting on the 15th of July. Therefore, the 6-month period will expire on the 15th of January, and unless an extension is approved. The scheduled full council meeting on the 20th of January will be too late to consider this extension, hence the requirement to consider the matter at this extraordinary council meeting tonight. Since the planning committee meeting, Councillor Bishop has experienced ill health and is under ongoing medical care. Under the circumstances, it's requested that Council approve an extension of the 6-month rule for Councillor Bishop on ill health grounds. In the event that the extension was not granted, the vacancy would be held open until the ordinary election of councillors in May 2022. The Kimpton ward seat is one which is due for election in May. And the recommendation acknowledges that should Councillor Bishop wish to stand for re-election and is elected, but continues to remain unwell, the extension would continue to remain until the 15th of July 2022. And note that this extension relates to the individual and not the seat. Thank you, Chair. I'll put the recommendations before you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Councillor Strong?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I would like to move the recommendation that this council gives the 6-month additional period to Councillor John Bishop. I think many of you do know that, very sadly, John Bishop actually had a triple heart bypass at the end of last year. Didn't anticipate that he was going to be ill again, but he has pancreatic cancer and he is undergoing treatment. The good news is he did get out of hospital yesterday, so he's back at home, which I'm sure is the best place for him to try and speed his recovery. I'm on this side of the house. We are certainly missing John, and we do hope that we have to see him back. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor North.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very happy to second. I would like to, however, ask a question and perhaps put forward a proposal. I believe representation is exceptionally important on the council, and I understand that Kimpton is a single member ward like mine. And I think my only concern is that during the period of time that Councillor Bishop is unwell, Kimpton may not have representation. So I would like to ask whether it be appropriate for the leader of the political group that he represents nominates a councillor who can be a named contact for any of the constituents in that ward during the period of time that Councillor Bishop is unwell.
So Councillor North, we've got 2 parts of that. First of all, you seconded the proposal. And then secondly, we've got this question about a named contact. Would you like to take that? Councillor Strong.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I can assure Councillor North that Kimpton is well represented by a dual team, which was the district and county councillor, and Councillor Fake, as his county councillor, also sits on this authority, is very well known to the parish, attends their parish meetings, and has picked up any case alert work on that from Councillor Bishop during this difficult time. And I do thank him for his for offering to second the motion. I was actually expecting the leader of the council to have done that. So I'll leave the administration to fight it out, but it would be very kind if somebody would like to second the recommendation for me. Thank you.
Councillor Strong, Councillor North did second it. And he just happened to get Pip Councillor Dennis Halbrough to the post in the order of things. So it has been seconded. I've got 3 people who want to speak. First of all, Councillor Billing.
Could you take Councillor Dennis Harburg first, please?
Certainly. Councillor Dennis Halbrough.
Oh, thank you very much. I feel like I'm playing musical chairs with my buttons tonight. As the motion, as it's been seconded, I don't need to second it, but I think on behalf of the Labour group, it's appropriate that we wish John well with his recovery. And if there is any help and support that is needed that we might be able to offer outside of this role or indeed in this authority, do please let us know. Because first and foremost, we are, after all, humans.
Thank you, Councillor Dennis Halbrough. Councillor Billing.
Chair, I just wanted to say a couple of things, really. The first is that I can never see any possible reason why such a request on ill health grounds would be refused. It's incumbent on us all to support that. I'm sure we will. And I was very grateful back in the day when the county council made a similar arrangement for my husband when he was also very ill and not able to fulfill all the duties, which of course in those days meant going to meetings all the time and never sitting at home and Zooming them. Secondly, I was going to say to Councillor North that I'm sure the group that has political control in that seat will have and will be thinking about how it's best represented, because it's not a completely unusual thing to happen, particularly given the still rather elderly age profile of councillors. It does come up quite often. But thirdly, and I wasn't going to say that, I do think it's a little bit snippy of the leader of the opposition to make a thing about who seconds such a motion. It was unnecessary, and I do hope that we won't spend the whole evening like that.
Absolutely.
I've got to admit, I put it down to confusion and the fact that this is quite an emotive thing, but thank you for those comments. Councillor Fake.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. Clearly, I don't mind who seconds it, providing, as Judy quite rightly says, this council observes the pleasantries, if nothing more than extending a man who is ill or a person who is ill, the capacity to come back if they're able to do so. And I'm grateful to Councillor North for being concerned about the support and the representation of the people of Kimpton. But I can assure you, I take that task on willingly, and I'm grateful that the leader of the Conservative group identified me, because I have and will continue so to do.
Thank you, Councillor Fake. Any other comments? Anyone's debate? So we have a proposer and a seconder. The recommendation that council approves an extension of 6-month rule for Councillor John Bishop on ill health grounds for an additional 6-month period until the 15th of July 2022, subject to re-election in May 2022. Can we go to the vote, please?
Thank you, Chair. That motion is carried unanimously.
Thank you. I'd now like to close this meeting. The next meeting will start at 7:30. Thank you.